Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pro Wrestling World Talks with Dan and Mac.
Only WWE can have their best PLE of the year and then have a fun, engaging Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And by Wednesday, everybody's pissed off at them. Only a special kind of wrestling company can pull that off. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to PWW Talks. I am your host, Daniel Burke, and I am joined by my best friend for over 20 years and the co-host of this program, Mac. Thanks again for coming onto this program again this week. What a weekend it was.
It's putting it mildly, I feel like.
Oh, Jesus.
It was something.
Yeah. Long, like, it's just, jeez. Long at certain points. And it wasn't the show. The show felt like it just flew by. But there were certain aspects of the weekend where it was just like, what am I in for here? But we will get to the show later on, because, of course, we have to start with other business. A major shift is happening in the media landscape, especially in sports media, the last few weeks. ESPN has recently earned an equity stake in NFL Network and now owns the rights to Red Zone. So you wonder, why they just made this acquisition, considering ESPN the last 5 or 10 years. All I have been hearing about is this decline of ESPN. And they're low on subscribers. They're not the worldwide leader anymore. Excuse me. And it was because of competition with FS1, apparently, even though FS1 is also going through a major shakeup right now as well. They just had some major layoffs. But ESPN now is throwing some money around. The acquisition of the NFL Network and Red Zone. But now, as of this morning, ESPN, starting in January of 2026, will be carrying WWE PLEs on their new straight-to-consumer, I guess that's what they're calling it. It's their straight-to-consumer app. That is what it is. It's not going to be ESPN Plus. It's going to be its own standalone thing, where you're now going to be able for the next 5 years, starting in January 2026, to watch WWE PLEs. You'll also get Red Zone. You will also get their original programming, including their 30 for 30s, which have been excellent. If you've seen some of these sports documentaries that they put together, I strongly suggest you do. They did a great one on Ric Flair. They did a great mini-series on Tom Brady, the 86 Mets. I believe they also did the Boston Red Sox from the 2004 World Series. They have done incredible documentary work on top of their coverage of the NFL, the NBA, they are losing Major League Baseball, and also the NHL. Now they are going to be carrying WWE PLEs for 5 years in a deal that is worth $1.6 billion. That is a rights increase of $600 million compared to 5 years ago with Peacock. This is on top of the, I believe, $5 billion deal, because they signed with Netflix. It was $500 million over 10 years, and for 10 years, $500 million annually, on top of another $275 to $300 million a year from USA Network. And don't forget about NXT. on CW for another $35 million. This company is cooking as far as finances go with their television product is concerned. Also, their attendance in their live gate has been extreme, but also under extreme controversy because of the ticket prices. It has been widely known that they were charging $40,000 for ringside seats for both nights at SummerSlam. And now the consumer is feeling the pinch even more. The big controversy that everybody has is because when the WWE Network began in 2014 up until 2020, it was $9.99 a month. That was the shirt. That was the meme. That was the hashtag. That was what everybody was talking about for 6 years. It was beat down and it was $9.99 a month. Then it goes to Peacock. And if you went with the ad-supported tier, it was $7.99 a month. It was cheaper for a few years. Then, of course, they went up gradually. Then if you wanted to get the second tier, it was $15. They went up gradually. In fact, the email came in today from Peacock saying they were announcing a charge increase monthly. But the ESPN straight-to-consumer app has got a lot of people upset. A lot of people. Because it is now going to cost people $30 a month, which is 3 times of what it was advertised for back in 2014 when it was just WWE content. And it's higher than when they went to Peacock. But again, it was Peacock was just starting up, really. They made a big splash and they gave WWE a paltry sum of $200 million. And they were able to shut down the network and kind of now push the content to other sources, have other people pay for the media rights instead of doing it in-house. They set a great model, don't get me wrong. They were using MLB TV actually to be the producer of the network. There were some flaws the first 6 months to a year, but God, when they really got going, they really knew what they were doing. Some of the hidden gems you were able to find on that, it was easy to navigate. They chaptered everything. When you went over to Peacock, you lost a lot of that. But also, this is just for the current PLEs, which people need to realize. It is not the, so to speak, back catalog, which has been discussed. The back catalog is still up in the air. So is NXT if they are going to have a streaming partner, if they're going to be involved in this. There are a lot of unanswered questions to this initial deal. Cody Rhodes even admitted today that he was in the dark about this deal. It seems that ESPN has just said, screw it. It's kind of what Disney did back in the mid-2000s, that 10-year period where they were just acquiring everything. Like they acquired Marvel. Then a few years later, they acquired Star Wars. ESPN seems to be now wanting to do that. ESPN wants the ability to be the Netflix of sports. ESPN Plus was a good kind of introductory, I think, for ESPN. But now they're really going big game. All their networks are going to be able to be streamed live 24/7. You want to watch First Take with Stephen A. Smith? Hey, controversial figure. I like Stephen A. Smith. I know a lot of people probably don't. I do. He's entertaining. So if I'm dropping $30 and I got time, or if there's not much going on at the office, yeah, I'm going to throw First Take on for a bit. Now Stephen A. Smith is going to be obligated to talk about WWE, which is going to be hilarious. It's going to be absolutely hilarious. Seamless transition for Pat McAfee as well. In my opinion, there is more good than harm that can come from this. Because now you are part of the biggest sports network on the planet. And they also have the backing of Disney. Mickey Mouse is finally accepting WWE into their house, so to speak. I feel like it is almost fate, considering that, and it also changes up my approach. I guess I can wear WWE shirts at Disney and no one really can think any otherwise now, because they can say, well, now they're under the same umbrella, kind of. It almost is more interesting in the fact of why they didn't make the deal to get WWE when it was up for sale 2 years ago. Now they are in bed with TKO again. They already have the outstanding relationship with UFC. The big question I have is UFC going to be part of this $30 a month, and are they going to drop their pay-per-view pricing on top of ESPN Plus? Because the big controversy is with UFC was UFC, yes, we're on ESPN Plus, but you have to buy the pay-per-view on ESPN Plus. Will this now model that Dana White and the people at TKO is with UFC, when their popularity is probably at its all-time low, probably since the early to late 90s to early mid-2000s. John Jones is gone. Connor's gone. Nunez is gone. Who's left as their draw? No one's buying the $60 a month on top of that.
Because I'm not booked.
They're not. No one's buying it. So you wonder now if you're going to be able to get Red Zone, WWE PLEs, and now UFC pay-per-views. Because UFC now has the chance to finally say, well, we're going to need that fucking audience that WWE brings in to get us now, because why not?
Yeah!
It has now come to the crossroads for Dana White. He must now hug it out with Triple H. And they both now must be in business, in bed with each other. Now more than ever. Because now they're going to have to be under the same umbrella under the House of Mouse. Now, I am sure my partner on this program, we talked about it quite a bit this morning. I understand his feelings on the issue. I understand his feelings on the price. It is a valid concern for any consumer. But he also has a long memory like myself. And we do remember paying for pay-per-views considerably more than $30 a month. So that is a bit of kind of solitude that we could sit there and say that that's what we remember. Remember when? Some would say that remember when is the lowest form of conversation. Mac, you have the floor.
You pretty much said it all. The only thing I'm really going to add to this part of the conversation is there's so much on all of these platforms, and I've seen the arguments today of, oh well, I'm already paying $20 to watch Raw, and I'm paying going to be paying $20 now to watch the PLEs and all this other garbage. There's other stuff on these platforms. Go watch it. You don't need to only spend money just for that reason.
A friggin' man.
And the only other thing that I'll really add here is this, and it's still a ways off. You still have the entire calendar year of 2025, which at this point is about 5 months if you do the math, really. And at the end of the day, you're going to have time to figure out what you want to do. You don't have to figure this out today. You don't have to figure this out in December. You have until sometime in 2026, whatever the first PLE is going to be, to figure it out. A lot of people are talking about VPNs. If that's the case, you do you. Get it on a VPN. Watch it on Netflix instead, and that way you don't have to pay the extra for ESPN. I didn't say that, by the way. Copyright's a thing. Outside of that, though,
this program is sponsored by NordVPN.
Exactly.
Surfshark. To add the one little point, because when I was talking about it with somebody at work who's a wrestling fan, because he came in and he's just like, I'm not spending more money on this. And I just looked at him and I said, they just picked up Red Zone, right? And he's just like, well, that changes things. It's like he instantly he connected it right in. He's just like, oh yeah. Well, shit.
There's that, but what I was going to say next is the simple fact that, we don't know what the structure is going to be. If you have the bundle, which supposedly ESPN Plus might go away, I heard is the rumor. So maybe the bundle won't matter. Then I read, something you would actually share with me in a few different groups, is that if you have it through your TV provider, you won't have to pay the additional $20-$30. And if that's the case and you're already paying for it, great. You don't have to pay an additional price here. If you're not, that's the negative. But kind of like I said, towards Netflix and these other platforms, if you pay for ESPN, you're paying for a lot of other stuff if you get it through your provider. You don't need to buy it just for the WWE.
Monday Night Football, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You're getting Monday Night Football. And I know that the argument. I understand the discussion. I understand everybody's frustration. I know money's tight for a lot of people right now. I get it. The $30 a month might be difficult for you. But if you're going to drop all that money on Game Pass for the NFL every year, which is like $500, you're pretty much buying everything with WWE for the same amount of money for the whole year. And also with this ESPN package, which is supposed to include Red Zone, or at least that's the rumor. I'm guessing that with that's since they acquired, I'm guessing that that's going to be part of the deal. And which is also why I think it's going to be such a high rate, because the NFL is just a goddamn machine. And it is the most watched program in television. Every NFL game, you go look at the most watched programs in all of television history, and I think the Super Bowl is 9 or 10 times. It's in the top, every Super Bowl in the last probably 15 years, I think 10 of them are the top 10. It's ridiculous. 9 of the 10 or something. And it's the most watched sport in the world, in all of the country. And WWE is now in bed with that. They're in bed with a network that has NFL behind it, that shield. And now another shield is behind it with WWE. And so is the NBA. And now Rob Manfred is like, fuck. Guess I screwed the punch. Guess I screwed myself on that one now, didn't I? Damn it. I guess we'll go to Peacock. Oh, Peacock just lost 500,000 subscribers in one day. Shit. What are we going to do now? I don't know. Maybe we'll go to Paramount. That's the ticket. So yeah, it's
what the fuck is that?
That is my impression of Rob Manfred trying to sell the Major League Baseball rights. If people don't know who Rob Manfred is, he's the commissioner of Major League Baseball. But also, too, they're also going to have to worry about that lockout, which is probably going to be happening after next season, which will also help WWE because, like in the summer, it's like we're going to be running unopposed if nobody's going to be playing goddamn baseball. So, it's an interesting time. It really is. There's a lot of these companies now that are now having to kind of work together to kind of survive at this point because the media landscape is shrinking. It's not getting bigger. Independently, I think it's also for the major ones because I think independently there's a lot more independent operations opening up with time. And you got platforms like YouTube getting more and more popular. And again, YouTube is a free platform. And WWE especially, and AEW is starting to do it now where they're putting up free shows and free matches. Because why not? Why? Because currently I have like a Rick Rude playlist going, like a Rick Rude compilation they put together on WWE Vault, which has become one of my favorite channels on the planet, which also could be a reason on why they're building this up, because the back catalog will most likely be going there. Unless that stays on Peacock, that goes, we don't know. We don't know where that back catalog is.
I'd be shocked if it stays on Peacock, honestly.
I'd
be shocked.
I don't know. Do you just put it on YouTube? No,
you put it either on Netflix or on ESPN, one or the other.
Yeah, I'm sure ESPN will take it because it's like, come on.
I mean, you could even put it on Disney Plus, honestly, because if they're doing
holy shit,
hold on, hear me out for a second, because if they do the full integration like they are talking about with Hulu and Disney Plus, I think some of those shows, at least SmackDown now and NXT now, still end up on Hulu within a reasonable amount of time, so you could potentially put it there too.
And it is now official. Rhea Ripley is a Disney princess.
As is Alexa Bliss, yep.
Alexa Bliss as well. That is now being handed down. Every WWE female superstar is now a Disney princess. That has come across the table. So that is huge. That is fantastic. Yeah! I cannot wait. God, that is going to be interesting now if finally, since now Disney has welcomed World Wrestling Entertainment, if a physical Hall of Fame is actually going to be built in the United States at the Disney theme parks, as part of, because I think they had stuff with like ESPN, and that's maybe in downtown Disney. Who knows? I'll have to go down there and see if I can see construction partners and be like, this is where I think it should go. I think when you have it, you have to have giant statues on the outside. You'll have to have, there's one for Andre. There's one for Hulk. I guess you got to have Bruno, Flair. Like this, you got to have a whole line of them. I'm just like I'm a representative of the company. You could just hire me already. Like, I don't understand why this conversation needs to keep happening where it's like I'm sitting here almost every week. Like, and this is also a good week for them because creatively, this is the best they have been all year. We are talking about the best PLE they have put on arguably since last WrestleMania at WrestleMania 40. That's how goddamn good this thing was. Where both main events, I can't pick which one is better. Do you know how hard that is for me? Like, because it's easy. Like, I can put star ratings together, not like Meltzer, but if I wanted to, I could. I'm usually someone that can sit there and say, yeah, that's great. That's good. Wasn't bad. I don't need a star rating for it. Both main events were completely different, but they were also 100% perfect. Like just two, one is a unbelievable, almost like a Rocky film, even though he says he's never seen Rocky. CM Punk versus Gunther. And then you have the next night, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, which you had one with Gunther and CM Punk, which was a great wrestling match, a great pro wrestling match. And then you had the next night, one of the greatest WWE Championship matches in the history of the company. That is saying in the entire history, and we're talking over 62 years. And it may have been one of the greatest main events I have ever seen for the championship ever. This may be one of the greatest SummerSlams ever. You could put it in the discussion for top 10. Because both nights were booked as perfectly as you can get, except for maybe the TLC match. But I'm fucking writing that off. Every night deserves one mulligan. Night one didn't really have any. TLC match, I was like, yeah, it's a mulligan.
I didn't hate it. I just hated the finish.
Yes, I think that was the big thing that I just. Plus, I just didn't see the Wyatt 6 winning. I'm just like,
yeah, it didn't make it. Why don't we do this? Why don't we actually talk through them a little bit?
Yes,
because obviously that's why we're here.
Obviously,
I was surprised that Roman Reigns and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed opened. That really
was a
surprised
surprise. Me. That was a bit of a surprise.
I don't know. I didn't care about this match as much as I feel like I should have.
That was the hard part. Like, cause it's a match with Roman Reigns. It's like, I should care, but I don't. It's cause it was something to get him on the card. There were some fun moments, like when they restarted Jay's music for randomly in the match. But so there were some fun moments there. Of course, it's always fun to see the tribal chief, of course. Yeet! I don't care about Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as a team. I'm not gonna care. Like, it just that whole combination and team, to me, it just like, okay.
My thing is this: it stunts both of their growths.
It does,
because both could be main event world champions, whatever. Like, this is unnecessary to stick them with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. They don't need either of them at this point in their careers. They just don't.
Seth Rollins need to get. I mean, I understand because everybody's just like, well, Braun's an up and comer. You want to make a main event guy? Do it fucking gradually. You just had him have a really good Intercontinental Championship reign. The progression of having a guy be your really good mid-card champion is eventually to move him up to the World Championship slot. Instead, you're just making a lateral move because he's still second banana to a fucking guy who really doesn't need to be really doesn't need a stable in the first place. But all you're doing is stunning these guys' growth and making the majority, including myself, not care about Roman Reigns being in a match on one of the biggest shows of the year. That's a problem. That's an issue.
Yep, I agree. I completely agree. I just think it was completely unnecessary to have them booked in this way. I get it. Like you said, you're putting Roman on the card. Great. But this really, I almost felt bad because I was like, this feels like a gimme. This feels like something I should care about. I just don't really care that much.
I just don't care. To me, it's it's like, okay, we got him on the card. We got him on the card. But it's like, and like, what do we go from here, guys? Like, is he just going to be keep doing tags now for the next 6 months? Come on.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? That's the thing. I hope not, God forbid, because I can't.
Yeah, I can't.
But we'll have to see where they go with that. The next match was the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Judgment Day's Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez losing to the Friends of Convenience or Allies of Convenience or whatever the hell they're calling themselves. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss.
This was fun, wasn't it?
Really was. I was happy with the outcome of this. It wasn't a bad match overall. You know, you could just tell Roxanne is way ahead of where Raquel is, which is funny.
Oh God!
But it also is funny because she's still not a replacement for Liv Morgan.
Like, I look at Roxanne and I'm just like, how are you 23 and this good?
Exactly.
Like, it's just it boggles the mind. It's like I'm looking at her and I'm like, number one, she looks 12 at certain points. You're just looking at her, you're like, and I'm just saying the age wise, she looks very young, but she's in that ring and she moves like she's been a 10-year vet. And that is a gift you can't teach. There are some people that are excellent performers, but it's still at certain points, they don't do the little things like great. You know, they're able to do like the big stuff great and that type of stuff, kind of like Brock. You know, we'll get to later, but he's good at big stuff. But like, you're not going to get a lot of like headlocks and that type of stuff. But you look at Roxanne and it's just seamless. Everything she does. And it's just, her timing is impeccable. She's safe. Again, 23 years old. And I'm just like, this girl's a savant. Like, she is miles ahead of Raquel. And it's not even funny. Like, it's not even funny because Raquel's been doing this for years. And she's just getting shown. She was a former NXT champion at one point. And she is just getting shown the hell up by this 23-year-old who has been on the roster, on the main roster for a cup of coffee. And she's done more. And she's a fill-in, by the way, for Liv Morgan. And she's done more on the main roster than Raquel's done in years. It shows you. And I don't take that. They should not take this either as a bad thing of losing, because they lost to two all-time greats, in Charlotte and Alexa. And really right now, this is one of the better stories on SmackDown, in WWE for that matter as well, just because they were on Raw on Monday. It is a feel-good story because Alexa Bliss is just finally coming back and able to get a championship after years, because, you know, she wanted to be a mom. And they kind of didn't know what to do with her for a few years there. And now they at least have her in a direction. And it also puts Charlotte again in a likable position. And Charlotte now is as popular, or probably more popular than she ever has been. And it seems like she's at least having fun with all of this. She's not taking it as seriously as she used to and is having fun again. So it's good to see. It's good to see that Charlotte and Alexa working together in an unlikely partnership that I'm actually a really big fan of. And, it's going to be fun to kind of see where they go from here on this.
I don't think there's anything else to add to that. I think that it's 100% correct that they both need a little fun injected into not only their characters, but obviously, they're having fun with it, and that's what's important. I think the commentary about Raquel and Roxanne is 100% spot on as well. You know, I know I started with that, but it's just the truth. It's, you know, Roxanne is going to be the future of that company at some point. She moves like a 10-year of that, exactly like you said. Raquel still looks very clunky moving around the ring at times, which I'm getting to the point where I don't know if I blame her or not, but whoever her conditioning coach is, I think they need to put in some work there, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, this was good. This was a good match. It was a good feud leading into it. I know they kind of continued it a little bit on Monday. The two characters are so offsetting and how different they are, but it's working. And I have to give WWE and both Talents credit for that, because they could have walked away from it. They could have said, "Oh, this isn't going to work," but they leaned into it instead, and it's 100% worked out for them.
Right.
The next match was the match that, or at least one of the three that we were like, "Oh, great." Was the match that I thought was going to open, but it was mid-card. It was Sami Zayn against Karrion Kross. If Kross had won, Zayn had to admit that Kross was right. Sami instead won, so he had to admit he was wrong about Sami. I really don't know what was said at the end of this match. However, I have my own guess. I was a little surprised they didn't do a microphone bit here, but they didn't, which fine, whatever. But I am pretty sure that Karrion Kross thanks Sami for what may be his last match in WWE. I don't think a new contract has been signed, is what I'm getting.
No, I there's rumors that one hasn't even been offered.
Correct.
I know that there were plenty of people that were rooting for him, that you can audibly hear it with the Cross chants on over the weekend with Triple H at the podium at certain points. I'd love to fucking see what all of you see. And that's the God's honest truth. You're out there chanting for this guy. And you're out there pushing for this guy. And I'm trying to find out why thousands of people are cheering for this guy when half the time he comes out, no one says a fucking thing. They just don't. And I can get booed all I want. And, you know, it's how it is, folks. It's how I look at it.
That's all, folks.
Yeah.
Go to bed,
Good night, sweetheart.
please.
I love you.
Love you.
Love you. And she ran away. Oh, okay. Here she comes now. She's moseying on in. I don't understand the outcry. I don't understand the push. I don't understand the drive of the audience for this guy. Because everything I have seen him in, and every time that he has been under the bright lights, so to speak, and given an opportunity, he has failed to hit his mark, at least on the main roster. And not in like online interviews that 4 people are watching. You're all wrong. You just are. Like, you just are. Like, it's just, thousands of people, we walk cross. We walk cross. Why isn't half the country doing that then? Why isn't half the building that he's in every week saying the same thing you are. Instead of he comes out or he cuts a promo and I hear nothing but crickets. I just don't get it. Like, I'm hearing that. And I'm just like, where were you? Where are you? Like, are all his fans just in New York right now? Is that it? Every carrying cross guy, they're just chanting for him now? What? Tony Khan's going to pay him a lot more money than the guy deserves, to be quite honest. What's he going to do? He's going to draw 3,000 people down for them? The same 3,000. Like, I'm going to stop watching WWE to go watch him in AEW because they didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. Oh, so the 12,000 people. So 12,000 people they're going to, or whatever, how many thousand were there just chanting for this guy? The guy, like, come on.
Here's my issue with Karrion Kross is that, and I've said this before, I think he's a great shoot fighter, but when that translates in the ring, it doesn't work. And you can tell he's holding himself back a lot because he wants to fight somebody. Like, you can just tell. And that's why the character worked, but again, it just doesn't translate that style that he wants to work into a wrestling ring typically. And I know there's going to be those detractors that are going to tell me otherwise. And listen, that's great, but that's not what I see. I see it how I said it, is that he is a great fighter. He's not a great wrestler. I think his gimmick has been snake bit since he came back too, because you started with this whole TikTok shit. You gave him a stable that you then released a few months later. Like, and you still kept him, which, okay, great, good for him. He kept his job, but he didn't do anything with him. And then you tease this whole fight with Sami Zayn for months on end, and then finally there's that payoff, only to say, nah, I'm going to beat the crap out of you so we can have a second payoff at SummerSlam that I'm also going to lose, which again is probably because there's no contract offer on the table for him right now. It's just, I think regardless of how I feel, he's just been incredibly snake bit either way. And it's unfortunate because I feel like all you've done really, if you're going to release him, is just waste 3 to 4 months of Sammy's life at this point. For what?
A guy who should be a world champion at some point. And he's been wasting away, including one of the big, massive pay-per-views with a guy who, why are you booking him on the show?
Yeah, but Dan, at least he made the card, unlike some people.
Yeah. Like, yeah, but why are you booking him on the show if you're not even going to offer him a contract? Why? Just so that way you can rile up these idiots to be outside when we want Cross. We want Cross.
I wonder if it's this whole mentality of we'll keep him and see how he does, and if he bombs out at SummerSlam, we'll just let the clock run out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's almost how it feels, which at that point it's kind of like, why?
Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Yep.
If you don't know by the time he's booked for the show, don't book him for the show. Why even risk it? It's like, oh, we didn't want to give him the mic. They probably didn't want to give him the mic because they were afraid of what he was going to say.
Probably.
And, so yeah. Go make your money elsewhere. And, yeah, whatever.
Yep. But you know who's not going to go make money elsewhere is Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill after their 7-minute match, basically, which was actually packed a lot in 7 minutes.
Great match. Really good match. Really good match.
I said it last week. I said it that day. I didn't really care who won. I still am, however, surprised that Tiffany won in 7 minutes.
I am surprised. I'm surprised, but at the same time, it was like one of those matches I was like, I don't care who wins. I just want it to be good, really no botches. And it was good. And now you might have a window where you're going to be able to turn Jade heel or something. I don't know. Jade will be fine, even though there's other rumors. Oh, they don't see her as a top performer. I don't know if it's that. Maybe they just felt like it wasn't the right time. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I think it gives Tiffany. I think Tiffany's win or lose would have been fine. It'll be kind of nice to see how Jade kind of bounces back from it, considering the fact it's her first clean loss.
So that's what I was going to say. Not only did Tiffany win, not only was it a 7-minute match, but it was a clean finish.
Yes. Which we didn't think it was going to be if Tiffany won.
I mean, yeah, more or less. I mean, I just... We'll talk about this when we get to Cena and Cody Rhodes as well, but it's like some of these storylines, you almost wonder where they're going now.
Yes.
Some of them are obvious, some of them make sense, but this is one where you can make it make sense that Jade lost, like you said, but where does Tiffany go from here too?
That's true.
So I don't know. It's like, this is still a good match for what it was. I was not disappointed by it. I was disappointed by them only getting 7 minutes, though. That bothered me a little bit, but I didn't hate it either.
No, I thought it was, again, it was, they should have got a little bit more time. There was really a lack of also big time entrances in the show. Like, you thought with, it's a stadium show, maybe they're going to have like big time entrances. A couple of matches I thought this match for sure was going to get something. But nobody really did. But I thought it was really good. Another big win for Tiffany, another kind of feather in her cap. It is interesting to see where both of them are going to go, though.
Yep. I think the only place Jelly Roll is going to the hospital, because the next match was Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll.
So I got a call from my dad, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday morning. And he's just like, Jelly Roll wrestled? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what the fuck? I had to remind him. I'm like, Jay Roleno wrestled, Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone. It happens. Snooki wrestled, for Christ's sake, at WrestleMania. I liked, don't get me wrong, I liked this match a lot more than I should have. Especially too, when you found out in interviews that he did the podcast with Cody this week, where he actually admitted that he was supposed to win. Him and Randy were supposed to win, but he went and decided to have the finish changed because he didn't feel it was right, because the fact that he was kind of coming in for a shot and he's not going to be here next week, which good on you, kid. Like, good on you. That's that is a self-awareness that a lot of guys don't have. It's just there's some guys that just, Dennis Rodman, the matchup that he had with Hogan, the first one against Giant Luger, he lost that match. He wasn't involved in the finish, but he still lost. It happens. It does happen where it's like, yeah, they bring the big celebrity in, but they don't end up winning. And this is one of those times. And
it was a bold move, I thought.
It was bold.
So many times the celebrity does win.
They do. But in the end, you got to give it to Jelly Roll for being like, you know what? I'm we're just gonna, I'm just gonna take the L on this one.
I was surprised this match occurred when it did.
I thought that this was going to be like middle. I thought it was going to be like middle of the road, maybe even second. I didn't expect it to be like co-main event. But I will say too, that frog splash through the table. There's a lot of things I can say about Logan Paul, and I have said a lot of things about Logan Paul. I don't like him as a persona. I think he's an idiot, but he's a damn good pro wrestler. And that frog splash, twisting in midair, it's kind of like a Rob Van Dam-esque, and then hitting him through the table. It's like, you're an idiot, but you can do cool things. And this is a cool thing.
No, it was cool. It was a good match. It was
good.
Surprised.
It was really good, actually. It was a good match. It was compelling. You cared. Even that hot tag was pretty decent. Like he did a pretty good sell job. You knew a mile away. It was like, he's going to come back at the last second and help him. And that's what happened. But they made it look good. And that's something that can be difficult, especially with somebody that's not an everyday performer. But he did enough. He did enough where I was just like, you know what? I didn't hate this. This was actually pretty good. So,
yeah, you could tell Jelly Roll was taking it seriously, which is
he did
more than you can say for some celebrities, of course. So.
I appreciate that.
Exactly.
Like, I honestly do. So,
me too. All right, and that was the fifth match. So all that was left was the main event. CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship.
First of all, the entrance attire of Punk was outstanding. Like that whole outfit was fantastic. If they don't do a figure for that, I'm going to be shocked. And they can pull that off too, because I don't think it was infringing on any rights or anything like that. The colors were just perfect.
I think it was, especially the jacket, a nod to the new movie.
Yeah.
But other than that, I agree. Like, if I was into figures, I would buy that one. There was a couple this weekend actually from night 2 with other people as well that they needed to do figures for.
Yes.
So I do hope that they do one for Punk, but this was a solid match.
It was everything I expected it to be. And just that story of just the older, aging, former champion looking for one last day in the sun, going up against this dominant, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But when he does, he fucks up bad. Yes, again, this match proved it. It's like every single time he thinks he's got everything going his way, he just gets like that overconfidence, and every time it bites him. And it did again here. And it was this long battle of just getting his ass kicked. And in the end, one crucial mistake, he finds the opening. 2 GTSs. The first one, that sell job by Gunther, was ridiculous, where it's like he's out on his feet, but he's not down yet. Hits him for the second one. Everybody in the building's going absolutely crazy. Punk's crying. He's got the championship. And then we hear it. But we're also yelling at the TV almost. We're just like, get out of the fucking ring.
Get out
of the fucking ring.
Get out of there.
Get out of the fucking ring.
The longer this goes, the more likely it's a cash in.
And all of a sudden, Seth Rollins come out on crutches, and like Tiny Tim on Christmas morning, throws off the knee brace, throws off the crutches, cash in, baby. And the ruse of the century, Seth Rollins and CM Punk's world title reign after just over 5 minutes, and is the new world heavyweight champion and the champion for now a second time. And
Did you see the memes of him and Paul Heyman, which is on the screen right now, by the way?
I did, yes. I did. The
Titanic.
Titanic one. I mean, it was hilarious. And I remember going to bed that night mad as a CM Punk fan, and then realizing the next day as a pro wrestling fan, God damn it, that was pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, I mean, in the moment, I didn't like it, but I remember thinking to myself, like, they can go somewhere with this. And I didn't pull any pictures from Raw, but on Monday Night Raw, they went right into a match with him and LA Knight for the title, which 100% right move.
And then created now Raw, the World Heavyweight Championship, having multiple contenders, which is what you want. You want to be able to now have 3 guys or 4 people challenging for the championship at one point. I mean, what better story can you get? I honestly thought, and this is also my naive thinking, that why not just switch the title? Put it on LA Knight. Just do it. Have CM Punk cost them. Because they're barred from ringside. Fuck it. CM Punk comes out. Bang, GTS, LA Knight. 1, 2, 3, world champion. I don't know a soul that would have been upset with that. Like, yeah, I understand Rollins, but it would have told the story. Rollins thought he had the whole world by the balls, and all of a sudden, it's like the next night, it's taken away from. Well, 2 days later, excuse me. But it did not happen. It ended in kind of a DQ kind of finish, a smodge, so to speak. And now Rollins has not only got LA Knight after him for the championship, he's got CM Punk and possibly now Roman Reigns. So that's going to be interesting in how they navigate that kind of minefield and see who's going to be challenging when, if it's going to be a multi-person match.
They might even do a 6-man tag with Rollins' stable with those 3. We don't know.
The possibilities are endless.
They really are. But I mean, I know this soured people at the end of night 1, but I mean, again, I looked at it from a long-term booking perspective that they could do a lot with this now.
Yes.
You still could with Punk, don't get me wrong. I don't want to say otherwise, but Seth, if you remember, had made good on a promise about not letting him be World Heavyweight Champion. Granted, he was for 5 minutes. He still cashed in on him, still won the belt, and now you create that chase that you just mentioned with those 3 other guys. And it can be very compelling.
It can.
But that was night 1. I thought overall, I think for both of us, actually, we were both very relieved the show so far had been good.
Yes.
Because
very relieved.
We were walking in like this could be good, but this could suck. But outside of maybe Jade and Tiffany, we felt that the booking decisions were pretty solid for this night. It was a pretty solid night overall. And then we get to night 2, and we start immediately with the Women's World Championship, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi. Naomi coming out to guitar music that you could barely hear being played by her father, by the way.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. Her dad played in Earth, Wind, and Fire. When? I never heard of that.
Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire was like no bass at all, apparently, because you could barely hear the guitar playing, I felt, in some cases.
Whatever.
It was just weird. I no hate, but it was just weird. I thought this was very good.
It was good.
And I felt that the ending, except for it be a roll up, was almost exactly what I expected it to be. You know, somebody was going to hit a move, and then Naomi was going to come in for the pinfall, and that's exactly what happened. I didn't expect it to be just a roll up, though. That was a little surprising.
Or Rhea eating the pin, for that matter.
We had said that last week that we thought it should have been Rhea.
I did.
Or if it was Io that she just ate a move, and I literally thought that was what's going to happen. Okay, she got riptide. Naomi's going to come in, throw her outside the ring. She'll pin Io. Nobody looks weak really. But no, they gave the pinfall to Rhea, and it was a roll up.
Yep. Yeah, that was. But also too, I like what they're doing with Rhea because Rhea now is kind of.
You can create that crisis of confidence that works for Sammy.
A self-confidence issue of,
right.
God damn it, I can't get past this. Like, I can't get the title back. Maybe I'm not as dominant as it's this kind of self-discovery angle too of just like, Rhea's lost her groove. She's got to get her groove back, like that whole type storyline. So you wonder what they're going to do from here. With that, you wonder who the next challenger for Naomi is going to be.
What, Stephanie?
Well, yes, that's true. But you wonder if she's going to take the title from her. Because you got to strike while the iron's hot.
I mean, it's such a 50-50 shot. This is one of those scenarios where it's like you did this for a few different talents. You did it for Braun Breaker, you did it for Gunther, and you did it for her before when she first went to NXT. You immediately put the U.S. Championship, North American Championship, on her. Then you very quickly had her beat Julia for the belt. Do you do the same thing here? Or do you kind of make her wait a couple months? I personally, I think you put it on her now.
I agree.
You could build up Naomi whenever. She's proven that she's able to do that. I think Rhea and Io need to figure their shit out first.
Yes.
So putting it on Stephanie and having another strong heel character come in, which, listen, you could do that with Roxanne. You can kind of, to a lesser extent, do that with Chelsea Green. You could do that with a few different talents. It's just, it would work better without it being Naomi. If you want a good face, you could do worse than Stephanie Vicker. Feel like Naomi is in a good spot. You could still have her be the champion, but then it's like, okay, who's next after that? Because you do not immediately want to go back to Io and Rhea. No, it has to be somebody new.
It does.
But overall, I didn't hate this match. I thought it was very well done.
No, I agree. I thought it was a good match. Not as good as the triple threat match at Mania with Bianca, Io, and Rhea. But I thought it was really, really good.
Yep, I agree. The next match, however, not so much. So this was the TLC match. 6-way TLC match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Andrade and Rey Fenix, Braxium, Street Profits, and the Wyatt Six, who actually retained.
Yeah, that was surprising. MVP of the match, Candice LeRae. Jesus Christ. She is out of her mind. I knew she was able to take the crazy spots. I saw her do it in the indies, especially like PWG and companies like that. There are compilations of her just doing insane bumps. And she did another one. And I would be scared for a male talent to do that. But a female talent that's also a mother, for Christ's sake. And she's doing this insane stuff. It's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna fall through Why? Why?
I legit, the way that thing broke, it looked like she was bleeding on it.
I know. And it's, you worry for shit like that. You do. It's like, oh, Christ. But she was fine, apparently. But good Lord, that looked bad. That looked really bad at one point where you're just sitting there, you're like, oh boy, is she dead? He dead?
Yeah.
No.
You dead yet?
Dead.
No.
No.
I didn't hate the match. I just didn't like the finish.
No,
I say that and I'm okay with it, right? Like I can look at it now and it's just like it does actually kind of feel like it makes sense, but it's kind of like, well, where do you go now? That's the big thing. It's just like you've now put them over 2-3 weeks in a row, and now what? Now you run the tag team division, but you still have these 5 other teams. Do you then introduce a 6th team? Do they just randomly lose one day? It's kind of weird, and it makes you wonder where they're going with the story for the Wyatt 6 in the first place.
True. Everything you said is 100% accurate.
All right, I guess we can just move on then. So the next match was for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch defends and retains against Lyra Valkyria.
Lyra Valkyria to me is kind of like with Zelina Vega, because it's like, I want to like Zelina Vega. I want to like Lyra Valkyria. But then it's like she goes out there in MetLife and gets no reaction. And I'm just like, why? Like, what is the disconnection here? Is it because she was going up against Becky, even though there's plenty of people that are just like, I'm sick of Becky?
Probably because of that jig she did, if anything.
Oh, that damn jig.
I mean, listen, jokes aside, I've said this. Like, I would rather listen to pretty much anybody else make a promo than Lyra Valkyria at this point.
Oh, she's
very vanilla on the mic, and I think in the ring she's phenomenal. Honestly, she's going to be a women's either world or WWE champion, whichever. Obviously, at some point, I firmly believe that. But she's got to work on her promos. I can't stand them.
They are pretty bad.
I am going to be 100% honest though that I saw Bayley getting involved. Obviously, we had talked about this, that she might turn. She didn't, but she still cost Lyra the match in the end.
Yes, in a much kind of way that Shawn Michaels did to The Undertaker in 1997 at the Heart and Soul SummerSlam, where Bret Hart won the championship after Shawn accidentally hit The Undertaker with the chair. Shawn was the referee. So Shawn had to do the count and did it in such a way where he was staring in the eyes of his mortal enemy, of Bret Hart. And it's kind of the same thing happened here, where I firmly expect where Bayley is going to probably turn heel, and it's going to be because she's going to be like, I'm not taking the blame on this. You suck. Like that's the reason why you lost, or something of that nature. I firmly see that happening.
Right.
Or Lyra turning on her, one of the two. I feel like maybe doing Lyra heel turn might be a kind of an option for her, so to speak. So,
outside of the match, though, I want to ask you a quick question. How did you feel about Becky's new music?
It's terrible. It's awful.
Yeah,
the majority of the
I was
stuff.
hoping that by Monday Night Raw they would have switched it back, but she had it again. Of course
not.
I was like, come on, man, please. It's not good.
it's like if you're gonna change your music, why don't you get somebody like, I don't know, somebody that's famous to do a damn song instead of just like some stupid band like your house band that sucks that everybody complains about. So
All right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with Bailey, but you kind of wonder what they're going to do with Lyra now. Are they going to stick her back underneath the mid card again, or are they going to push her up? It's kind of a weird time. And her character right now is just not a good place anyway, so.
no, it isn't.
But the next match was vastly different for a number of reasons. Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. Championship in a steel cage.
A steel cage is supposed to keep people from interfering. Yet the whole goddamn bloodline was interfering.
MTF, sir.
MTF, excuse me. Stupid. MTF.
Never said it wasn't, but
I know, it's dumb. It's stupid. MTF. MTF was interfering like the majority of the match. Solo was able to escape. And then Jacob Fatu did a moonsault off the top of the cage, would look really cool. But why didn't you do it during the goddamn match instead of the afterbirth?
That's exactly what I said. I remember saying it that night. I'm like, what is the point of this?
There's
like,
none.
He's already lost the match, but we're going to keep going with spots?
Oh.
Like, for what?
You won the battle, I won the war. Shut up. Don't give me that.
I just, we said this last week. We said it over the weekend. If this is the route that they're going to take, they need to push Jacob Fatu now in the main event.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any other sense otherwise. Otherwise, he should have won.
Exactly. If this is the route you're going to go,
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's tough because now your champions are Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Like, it's tough.
Spoiler, come on, we haven't got to that point yet.
Well, I think everybody has probably seen it by the time they listen to the show. But you're right. I apologize. All right, so I guess we should probably get to the next match then. So the next match was for the Intercontinental Championship. Dirty Dom beats AJ Styles.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
With an assist from his boot.
Cool entrances. Especially for AJ. I love the homage.
Oh, that was such a sick entrance, yeah.
It really was excellent with the lowrider, the inspired Latino heat, Eddie Guerrero tights for AJ Styles.
Yep.
And in a very similar finish to Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 20, Dominic Mysterio unlaces his boot. AJ goes for the calf crusher. You're thinking Dom is going to get out of this. Dom is going to tap out. Dom gets out of it. Hits him with the boot, which I never liked. I just, hitting a person with the boot as a weapon to me makes no sense. Because the boot, you kicking someone with the boot on, is more effective than you just taking a loose boot and hitting a person with it. That shouldn't do any damage to anybody at all, except maybe like a bump on the forehead. Not you get hit in the face with it and you lose the match. Okay. Because that makes sense.
I don't know. Maybe it's steel tips. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what's in those shoes. I just, I don't disagree though. It felt like kind of a cop out. Like I understand doing that, especially in the context of having AJ come out with the low rider and stuff. You're paying homage to Eddie tonight, obviously, with the stuff that you're trying to do there. And I get it that this is probably another similar fashion of doing that, kind of like you called that back out to WrestleMania 20. But to then hit him with the boot after, I was like, okay, odd choice, but okay. And then I remember the conversation of like, well, he won clean. I'm like, technically he didn't, but I get why you would think that. It's just a weird way to kind of go about it. You could have done a schoolboy. It would have worked out. Would have been fine. It would have looked great. But they decided to have him actually hit him with an empty boot. So
Regardless, it was a good match.
it really was.
I like the ending. It is a memorable finish. And it is advertised that this is his last, AJ Styles' last SummerSlam, which, again, could be the case. But again, for him, it could be a year-to-year thing. We don't know if tomorrow he could say, yeah, I feel like it's the last year. And then the next day he could say, you know what, I could give this another year. We don't know. So I'm not, when it comes to retirements in pro wrestling or guys saying that this is their last year, I tend to take it with a grain of salt, except John Cena.
Well,
I honestly feel like that this is it. Because
I hope so.
I hope so too, selfishly. But we have reached that point, the main event of the program. Going into this main event, because we didn't talk about what happened on Friday, where John Cena turned into a fucking baby face just randomly. 2 days before this matchup, I felt like
mad.
John Cena cut the balls off of Cody Rhodes.
I was so mad.
Oh, it was bad.
It was
so
fucking mad.
You threw stuff.
I did.
You threw stuff.
I really don't get all that mad about a lot of things anymore. Yeah.
No.
But like I've broken some of my personal items in my anger in the past. I'll put it that way. I don't do that anymore.
As we all have.
Yeah, maybe not. But either way, like I could fully admit that I've only really gotten to that point with wrestling a handful of times. But that I remember I was folding clothes as I was watching this, and I just threw them on the floor. So at least I'm not breaking clothing, just throwing that out there. But
yep.
I remember throwing it all on the floor. I was like, you fucking asshole. I really thought that this, as you so eloquently put it, really did cut the balls off of Cody Rhodes. Because no matter what Cody would do at that point, he's going to be the asshole.
Yep.
And you could hear it in the match at some points. Yes, he got a huge reaction. Yes, so did John Cena. But there were certain parts of that match the crowd was not behind Cody Rhodes.
Which I think that was going to be because John Cena in this match was going to be Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania X8. No matter what, they're going to cheer him. It's his last big stadium show ever because they're not, that's not that San Diego. I got to remember Survivor Series.
Right.
But at least in the New York market, this is his last big New York stadium show. And John has a reputation of going into business for himself in promos. And embarrassing guys. And I felt like a little bit going into this match that this was going to be hard for Cody to recover. And at the end of it, they cheered him on anyways. Now, the person that saw that match, I don't think was unhappy that Cody Rhodes lost. Cody Rhodes won. Excuse me. I don't think, because at the end of it, people understood what was happening. I understood what was happening. That was, it's your ball now, kid.
I mean, what sealed it for me, honestly, is when he saluted him at the end from behind.
The salute did it. That was the moment. And there were moments in this matchup that when he hit that double AA and that one off the top rope, I'm screaming at the fucking TV. I'm just like, you better fucking not.
No,
and
see, as soon as he
out.
kicked out of the 3 crossroads, at that point I kind of knew he's like, okay, he's just gonna give it back to him. Like that's all it was. And yeah, I will admit I was a little nervous about that, but I kind of just felt like if you're kicking out of 3, you're gonna let Cody kick out of 3, and that's exactly what they did. I thought the cool spot of coming up from the elevator was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool. The Code Red or Canadian Destroyer, whatever the hell it was called, that Cena did, I thought was hilarious. Honestly, he looked like an idiot.
My favorite moment of that was when Cody dead weighted him in the ramp, and then he had to carry him all the way on his shoulders.
Yep.
And then the second he got in the ring, Cody popped up like a goddamn. And just Cody fucking took advantage of it, which I knew he was going to do. I'm like, he's going to dead weight him and make him fucking carry him. And then all of a sudden, fucking. Those guys saw the criticisms from WrestleMania. Those guys saw the match from the night before and said, fuck this, we're stealing this. Because, like I said at the beginning of this program, I can't pick what was a better main event. Because both main events were exceptional. This match was exceptional. You can make an argument that this is John Cena's best match of his career or in the top 5 of his career.
It's up there for sure.
And it also shows just how goddamn Cody Rhodes is, good Cody Rhodes is, for being able, because not many people could carry somebody in John Cena's age in a match like this. Because this match went fucking long.
I think as a street fight, it's a little bit easier. I am still surprised about how much John was willing to do in this match and how much he actually did, obviously. You know, taking the barricade to the back, I was a little surprised at.
That was he didn't take any real. I didn't think he thought he took any real big risks, but yeah, there were some things he took. I was just like, I'm surprised he's doing this.
Yep.
Just again because of all the Hollywood projects and trying to stay healthy, and it was without question one of his finest hours in ring. It was probably his best performance in this entire run.
Oh, that
might be his best performance in the last 10 years.
I would argue easily for that too. He's done a lot 10 years, honestly.
Well, no, he did have the AJ Styles feud, which presented some classics. So there are arguments for, yes, there have been matches that have been better. But this is easily a top 5, top 10 in his career. And he deserved every bit of recognition that he got. Cody Rhodes beats him. Cody powders, and then gives John Cena the ring. And much like the night before, get the fuck out of there, John. Because now the ultimate gong show played in a moment that I did not expect that I would hear again in my lifetime. It's like the old gong show. That gong that nobody wants to hear. And it's not the Undertaker's. It's different. The Beast is back. And when I mean back, Brock Lesnar is back. The Beast incarnate. And oh boy.
That was an
Wow.
all-time pop he got too, man.
It was an all-time pop. But then again, then it's like the next day. Then I'm reading, then I'm going into certain business chats, and it's just like, oh boy. Like you're, it's like Krusty the Clown. You're just thinking to yourself, you're like, it's,
I mean, listen, the only thing I'm going to say about that is this, and this was said by Triple H in post-show, which, ironically enough, no press conference for night 2. Can't imagine why. Yeah, can't imagine why. But Triple H said that this is what Cena wanted. Cena wanted another run with Brock Lesnar.
Which then Cena kind of said, oh, they're just throwing them at me. So it's just, well, who's zooting who right now?
I mean, listen, they had a great feud back in the day. It makes the most sense.
It does make a lot of sense. And plus, at the same time, too, there's probably a lot of feuds that was penciled in for Brock Lesnar. Look,
well, that we'll never know.
That we'll never know. Here are the facts, folks. All right. I like Brock Lesnar. I've always been a Brock Lesnar fan. I understand. I'm trying to do this as diplomatically as I can and as nice as I can too.
Listen, we don't know what we don't know.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything. The fact is that he's been cleared by legal teams. They did their vetting. He's back. There's some people that are going to be pissed. I'm not mad. I'm just not. I understand. This is hard. It's tiptoeing. Yeah, I'm tiptoeing around it. It's obvious, but at the same time, I like this gig, and I really don't want to say anything dumb. And it's just
we don't
one
know.
of the.
Well,
I don't know. We don't know. We don't know exactly. All I know is he's cleared. He's back. There's people that are mad. There's people that are happy. It's in the middle. All I know is he got a massive pop at MetLife. And the fact is that he also got a massive social media viewing presence for him coming back because you know why? He's a fucking star.
I mean, you know, at the end of the day, there's going to be people that don't like him because of what they don't know. There's going to be people that do like him because they don't know. It doesn't matter what camp you're in. It was a phenomenal moment, and that can't be taken away from him at this point. If something comes out later and he was found of doing something wrong, we'll talk about it. But as of right now, he is back, so it's obviously been vetted, as you said, by their legal team. Whether that means that Janelle Grant is not pursuing any litigation against Brock Lesnar or anything like that, we don't know. That's not for us to decide. That's up to the lawyers. But for right now, all we know is this. It was a phenomenal moment. He's back. We have no idea how long he's going to be back. And if that creates a problem for you, don't watch the product. Simple as that.
And that's the last we're going to talk about it. If Brock Lesnar comes up on this program, we are never talking about that subject again unless something comes further. That's the last I want to bring on it up because at this point, he's back. It's done. It's over with. He's been vetted. Unless something new comes out, we'll talk about it. But that's it.
Exactly.
This issue, as far as I'm concerned, is dead on this program. And I'm sorry if people are just like, well, you're brushing over it. I
don't think we brushed over it at all. I think we gave it its due course, and that's all that we need to say.
He's back.
I don't think there's anything else to
That's
say
it.
about it. Yeah.
That's it. This is not something I'm going to debate with people with. This is not something I want to discuss because I'm not educated in that sense to be able to give you an to give you any legal advice. I don't know shit about it. Okay. I only read some excerpts of this thing. I haven't read the entire thing because number one, I don't care, so to speak, and it just doesn't affect my everyday life in that sense. I care about the victim that's involved. I care about the trauma that she went through in her life. I'm empathetic towards that situation. But as far as that goes, and as far as this situation is concerned, we're never going to talk about it again. Unless something major happens again, it's done and it's over with. And I'm glad Brock is back as a fan. I understand people being upset, but at the same time, he's back and you're going to have to deal. If you don't want to deal, don't watch it.
Hey, listen,
That's all I can say.
This is my closing argument. People still love Steve Austin. People still love a lot of talent that did bad things.
Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
I mean, Hulk Hogan, there's been a lot of discussion in the last few weeks with his legacy.
Of course.
And then the Steve Austin thing really doesn't get talked about enough. And I'm not trying to bring up, and I like Stone Cold.
Listen,
Don't get me wrong.
I love Stone Cold as well, but he did a bad thing.
He did.
Just saying.
It's there's a lot of people that have, and
yep.
There's a lot of people that have skeletons in their closet as well that did some bad things at one point, bad things, and that some people never know about, things of that nature. And I'm not making implications for myself here, folks. Jesus Christ.
I actually thought you were making it for me, but okay.
No, I'm not making it for you either. God. I mean, look, it's whatever. I'm just saying that.
I get what you're saying. Relax.
Yeah.
Jesus.
People really, I think, kind of need to. I think a lot of the outrage, to be quite honest, is coming from a place of they really didn't like the guy to begin with, so they're just trying to find ways to just be like,
I think it's also because the Janelle Grant thing is still very fresh for a lot of people because it's still kind of ongoing. I think that is kind of also playing its own role here. But to your point, I think it's just like, well, you hurt the wrestler I like right now in John Cena.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a lot of people don't like Brock because he's going to beat your favorite wrestler at some point.
Or he already has, but yeah.
Or he already has. Like, but that's something I grew accustomed. I knew that in 2002. It's like, yeah, I know he's going to beat Taker. Yeah, I know he's going to beat Hogan. Yeah, I know he's going to beat Rock at SummerSlam. But I didn't give a shit. Because I looked at the guy and I just said, he's fucking money. Like, just give him the goddamn world and give it to him now. And they did. And he was just like, this ain't for me.
Yep.
He's one of the few guys that's like, he could just take off at any point and just be like, yeah, I'm done with this place for a while. Then step right back in. And it's like, doesn't even miss a beat. So he's one of those few guys.
Yeah. I mean, coming out and after so long and just F5ing John Cena of all people, just, the irony was not lost on me. I'll say it that way.
What a great moment.
But I thought it was just, gripes aside of what we just talked about. I think it was the perfect capstone to what I would consider a top 5 SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's in the discussion. It's in the discussion for top 5. Most certainly top 10. Like it's definitely going to finish in the top 10 of all time. It is the highest attended, which, I mean, yeah, that was going to be a given. I'm still
2 days, yeah.
I'm still debating on the attendance a little. If Meltzer came to me and said it was actually 35,000 a night, I'd actually agree with him because it looked a lot less.
I don't think it was that. I would say upper 40s.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing in the 50s.
Yeah, so I have it up. It was for night one, it was 53,161. For night two, it was 60,561. I called bullshit on that one. For a combined two night total of 113,722. I called bullshit on 60,000 for night two.
7,000 difference between night one and night two.
Yeah. Yeah. I call BS on that.
That can't be real. Like,
That's kind of my point. That's why I call.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does if you add more chairs, because there was a lot of blank space on the outskirts of the field, I thought.
Oh, yeah, there definitely was.
And some of the skyboxes or one section of them looked pretty much empty, at least on night one. I didn't really notice it on night two, but 7,000's a lot. 7,000's a lot. Like, you would have had to add a lot of rows and have filled those skyboxes at that point.
A lot of skyboxes now are probably those are going to be under lock and key now for that incident after that incident at Coldplay. It's just like I ain't going to one of those fucking things again. Fuck that.
And true to the Giants fans and Jets fans, apparently there was a fight during the show at some point too, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. That doesn't surprise me. City, the building of losers. I mean, why not, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But that's SummerSlam. As I said, I think Brock coming out and F5ing John Cena was the perfect capstone to a very perfect 2-day event. I think, and it's been discussed heavily anyways, but I think after the success of this show, a lot more shows are probably going to look at 2 nights. The Rumble is a perfect example. Money in the Bank, any of those gimmick ones are great examples of where they should go to kind of stretch all those events out. But I also think that some of them, the one-off shows like Clash in Paris, it's not necessary. You don't need to do this all the time. But overall, yeah, I thought it was a great show. I left pleasantly surprised both nights because they seemed like they listened to their show because they booked it almost exactly how we would have.
Also, being done by 10 o'clock on both nights is a huge,
it's
huge
glorious.
win.
Glorious.
It was so great. Oh, it was so great. Even though Saturday really didn't matter, considering that night just got longer and longer. But nonetheless, night 2 was fun too. Being there at Boo Around Billy's house. Now I have the wife addicted to Wingstops. That's going to be fun.
Did you guys go after that, or did she have your leftovers?
She had my leftovers.
Gotcha.
And now she likes Wingstop. So I almost got her to go there last night because she was being a real pain in the ass, or a brat, so to speak. I called her a brat today about it. About with food. You know how it is. Like every so often, it's just like they're all of a sudden the switch goes on where it's just like they don't know what they want for dinner. All of a sudden, it turns into pizza, and then they're like, "I just want leftover pizza." And then it's just like, but I know you don't really want leftover pizza. And then they're just throwing a hissy fit 10 times over. And then it's just like, I don't know what I want. And then you're trying to help them. Oh my God. Last night was just one of those nights. I want to pull my hair out. Oh my God. But I did mention Wingstop, and she's just like, I don't want to drive all the way there. I'm just like,
Is it closer than Wings Over for you, or is it further?
It's a little closer. Plus, it's easier to get to because
that's not saying much for where Wings is.
Where she really doesn't have to. Well, you have to go kind of to downtown Worcester to get to Wings Over, where you could realistically just to go to Wingstop in Worcester. you don't even need to go downtown. You just need to go like down Route 9, get to Cambridge Street to Southbridge Street, and then Wingstop's down a little bit, and then come back. So probably about 5 or 10 minutes shorter than going to Wings Over, and you don't have to deal with the infamous Kelly Square, so to speak.
That's
We also did find a new dispensary in Worcester as well, because my wife has to have a certain sleeping aid called Zonct, and Zonct is sometimes hard to come by. There's this one place in Southbridge here in central Massachusetts that has it, but it's $30 a bottle. I was able to find it because,
jeez,
as you made it come to me, you were pointing out several times of how cheap I am. It's $30 a bottle for this place in Southbridge. I was able to find it today for under 20. It was like $16 a bottle.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, I said,
let's go.
I just texted her. I just said, do you mind driving to Worcester? Because I found it for under $20. She's like, we'll do it. And our order was about the same it would have been before taxes for I'm like, but she's also looking at the other stuff, and they had like 6 pages of edibles, which in this area seems to be hard to come by.
Yeah.
And also too, their efficiency, THC ratings of like 50% or higher on some of their strains.
Wow.
So Mayflower and Worcester seems to be who knows? It might be a sponsor of our program at some point down the line. Because I just gave them so much free press.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what's funny? My job came to me this week, and apparently for our orientation for new staff for they want to do a Family Feud type deal, and they have asked me to host, which I'm still kind of sit there and I'm like, have they watched this program? Like,
clearly not.
Like, I'm nervous because I'm just like, oh no, I have to work clean, like super clean, like cleaner than I ever have before. I'm gonna have to bite my lip the whole time, and because I can't be like Shane Gillis at the ESPYs, for Christ's sake. Like,
no, that would
even
not
though
work.
I want to be,
that would not work.
but I want to be so bad. That's the
I
problem.
know you do. I know.
It's like, just go rogue. Just throw your pipe bomb out there. Come on. Yes. So a bit of a programming note. Next week, because of there's going to be kind of a lull now as far as PLEs are going. As far as PLEs are concerned, it's only going to be one in a couple weeks. We're going to do something a little different. I am going to start showing a bit of my collection. A bunch of my autographs, including like 8x10s and some plaques that I own, including quite a bit of WrestleMania plaques. And I'm also going to be showing my top 5 wrestling figures in my entire collection, which is going to be difficult for me to kind of pick out. I have to be quite honest. It's like because there's so much to it that mentally that I'm just like, I don't know. So we're going to do that next week. And then, of course, we'll be probably bringing back the scroll in a few weeks as well. And then we'll have the preview for Clash in Paris. I know there's AEW stuff going on as well, which will be back with probably a pay-per-view, I think later on this month. I know All In, they have coming down. Well, they're All Out or whatever the hell it is. It's All Out
It's
coming
all
out
out, yeah.
in September.
At least they're not doing it 2 weeks after All In this year.
Oh my God, that was so dumb.
Really
It
was.
was terrible, especially too the timing of it because All In happened, and then they fired CM Punk, and then like the next night was the pay-per-view in Chicago. I'm like, wow, you guys really scheduled this out, didn't you? It's like you couldn't just wait another week to fire him. You had to do it now because now everybody seems pissed in Chicago, but they seem to be all right. So that's for us. That's it for us this week. I am flustered because I'm just like, it's been a long week, and I feel like the week is going to be like our weekend was just so long. Like it just like what Sunday afternoon we were just like, I don't want to go, like because we were just so exhausted from the night before, and then we had an early morning on Sunday for
Reasons.
yeah. So we'll be back next week. We hope everybody kind of enjoys themselves. If you haven't seen SummerSlam, if you're kind of waiting on it, or you're kind of number one, where have you been? But number two, it's definitely something I would check out if you haven't seen it. It's definitely the best show that they put on this year. Maybe the best show they put on since WrestleMania 40. So I hope everybody enjoyed it just as much as we did. And we'll be back next week with some more fun. You get to see a piece of my collection and be able to take in the awesomeness of my, I guess, life room. Matt Cordona calls it his life room instead of his toy room. And it's just like, I have all this fun stuff and pieces of my life that have just kind of, I've collected over the years. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it too. So you'll get to see a piece of that next week, which is big for me because I normally don't try to be a show off, and my other friends do. At least
Because
my
I'm
other
not
friend
booked.
does. Hoorah. But me, I'm more of somebody that's like, I try to be subtle. So next week will be kind of interesting to kind of open my my home to you a little bit, my world. So we'll see you all next week. Enjoy the weekend, folks. Have a good one.